For 5 years, my world was silence. Just the scratch of quill on parchment, the whisper of prayer books, the quiet shuffle of monks' feet on stone floors. I illuminated manuscripts with gold and faith, letting art speak what my vows forbade my tongue to say. Until she came, the king's daughter, trailing sunlight and voice into our sacred silence. She spoke to me as I worked, though I could never answer, but my hands trembled with each word she said. And slowly, my silent heart began to sing. Silence was my first love. I chose it at 23, kneeling before the abbot, surrendering my voice to God. The other monks said I had a gift for it, this sacred quiet, this holy stillness. They gave me the scriptorium as my domain, a room of morning light and ancient books, where I illuminated manuscripts with stories of saints and angels, gold leaf under my fingers, precious pigments mixed with prayer, every stroke a whispered devotion. My art spoke for me. The other monks said it was touched by heaven, the way I painted Mary's tears, Christ's wounds, the light breaking through darkness. They said God guided my hands. I believed them. Until the day the king sent his daughter to commission a royal prayer book. She entered my quiet world like a song, purple silk rustling against stone floors, golden hair catching sunlight, voice soft but sure, asking to watch me work. The abbot allowed it. She was, after all, a princess. So she came, day after day, sitting silently beside my desk, watching gold leaf take flight under my brush, watching saints emerge from bare parchment, watching my hands speak what my tongue could not. Sometimes she would read aloud from the texts I illustrated, her voice painting colors I'd never seen, making my silent world feel suddenly empty. I never looked up, never met her eyes, but my hands betrayed me, painting her likeness into every angel's face, her grace into every saint's pose. The abbot praised my work, seeing only devotion. But I knew the truth. My silence was no longer for God alone. She came every morning after prayers. I learned her presence by small sounds, silk on stone, the rustle of pages, the soft catch in her breath when gold leaf caught light. She spoke to me as I worked, telling me about her world beyond our walls. I never responded, never could, but my art answered for me. When she spoke of her garden, I painted flowers in the margins, not heaven's roses, but her favorite lilies. When she mentioned missing her mother, I illuminated queens with her eyes. When she laughed at something, I captured that joy in swoops of gold. The other monks noticed changes in my work. "Your angels look more alive," they whispered. "Your saints seem to breathe." They didn't know they were looking at her. She began leaving me notes, pressed between manuscript pages. "Your blues are like summer sky." That angel's smile reminds me of something I can't name. "Do you ever wish you could speak?" I answered in art. A bird with broken wings but singing, a monk holding a star he couldn't keep, a princess reading beneath a tree that wept golden tears. She understood every stroke. Weeks passed. My silence grew heavier. My prayers became dangerous things, half to God, half to her. My manuscripts filled with hidden messages only she could read. One day she brought me a rare blue stone, precious lapis for grinding into paint. Our fingers touched as she handed it to me. The color I made from it was the exact shade of her eyes. I used it to paint Mary's robes, Christ's heavens, and every sacred tear. The abbot praised my new pigment's holy beauty. But she knew. She saw herself in every shade. Summer waned. Her visits grew longer. She read while I painted, her voice becoming my whole world. Sometimes she would fall asleep in the afternoon light. Those moments were hardest when I could look at her freely, when my hands ached to paint her exactly as she was. But I didn't dare. Such beauty didn't belong in prayer books. Then came the day she brought news of her betrothal. A prince from the north. A political match. Her voice cracked as she told me. I kept painting, hands steady even as my heart shattered. But that night, alone in my cell, I broke my vows for the first time. I wrote her name, just once, just for myself, on a scrap of parchment I would burn. But she found it the next day, hidden among the manuscript pages, her name in my forbidden hand. She pressed it to her heart, tears falling, then wrote beneath it, "Speak to me, just once, please." I knew then that silence would kill us both. The night before her wedding, she came to the scriptorium one last time. Moonlight painted her in silver and shadow. My manuscripts lay finished on the desk, every page a confession, every stroke a whispered love she'd learned to read. "I'm leaving tomorrow," she said. I kept working, though my hands shook. The gold leaf scattered like fallen stars. "Look at me," she whispered. "Please, just once." 5 years of silence pressed against my tongue. 5 years of devotion warred with 5 months of love. I raised my eyes to hers. She touched the manuscript I was working on, a scene of Eden, of temptation, of choices that changed worlds. The serpent had her eyes. The apple gleamed with promises. "All this time," she said, "you've spoken to me through these pages, every color a word, every stroke a secret." Her fingers traced the painted borders. "I learned to read your silence." I nodded, my vows burning in my throat. "But tomorrow, I'll belong to someone who will never read me like you do." Her voice broke. "Someone who will never paint my soul in gold." My quill snapped in my grip. Ink bled across paradise like tears. She stepped closer, close enough that her whisper reached only me. "Break your silence. Just once. Say my name." Everything I'd sworn, everything I'd built, every prayer, every vigil, every sacred dawn, all of it hung on this moment. I opened my mouth. "Brother Thomas?" The abbot's voice shattered the night. He stood in the doorway, shadows hiding his face, but I saw the manuscript in his hands, the one where I'd painted her too truly, where love had made me careless, where my art had confessed what my voice could not. "The princess should not be here," he said. She straightened, every inch a royal daughter, but her eyes never left mine, waiting, hoping, breaking. The abbot stepped forward. "Your Highness, the king requests your presence. Your betrothed has arrived early." She turned to go, taking all the light with her. And in that moment, I knew. Silence would damn me more than speech ever could. My voice, when it came, was rough from disuse. But her name fell from my lips like a prayer. Sophia. They took my manuscripts first. Every page I'd ever illuminated. Every secret message. Every hidden portrait of her disguised as saints and angels. The abbot said they would burn them, cleanse them of worldly love. But she was already married by then, far to the north. My art would never reach her now. They sealed me in a cell smaller than before. No windows, no light for painting, just darkness and silence. The true silence I'd never known until I spoke her name. Some nights, I dream in colors I can no longer create. Blues the shade of her eyes, golds like her hair in sunlight, purples deep as her royal silks. I write her name in the dust, then wipe it away, again and again. A different kind of illumination. The other monks whisper that I'm doing penance, that I'll find my way back to sacred silence, that God will forgive my moment of weakness. But they don't understand. My silence now is hollow, an empty chapel, an unsung hymn, because once you've given voice to love, all other words become ash. All other prayers taste like dust. Sometimes, on clear nights, I hear the abbey bells. They say she rings them when she visits home, that she commissions manuscripts still, but never from us, that she named her first daughter after a color I once mixed just for her. I don't regret speaking. One word was worth a lifetime of silence. One name worth every vow broken. They say I lost God's grace that night. But they never saw how divinity shone in her eyes when I spoke her name. Never understood that some silences are sins, and some words are prayers in themselves. I paint still, but only in my mind. Angels with her face. Gardens where we meet. Pages and pages of illuminated love. And in this darkness, in this quiet, I've learned the final truth. God gave us voices for a reason. And sometimes the holiest act is breaking silence for love.